Hello, Profit First entrepreneurs and thought leaders. Can you guys believe it? We're at the end of 2023. Yes, we are at the very end of 2023. And, you know, as we wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope that you guys are taking some time to spend with your families, time to relax, time to reflect on, what you would do differently in the upcoming year based upon what was happening here. Or maybe there's just some things that you are going to continue on. And this is a great time for reflection. And as you can imagine, we are also going to be taking a break for the season. And we're also preparing some amazing episodes for 2024. But what we thought we would do is, as we close out the year, that we would bring up some oldies but goodies, some of my favorite episodes. And this episode was actually done a while back. I think when we first started this podcast, to Profit Talk, and it is still one of my favorite interviews of all times. And it's an interview with my friend, Ron Saharyan. You guys may know Ron. Ron is the co-founder of Profit First Professionals. He co-founded it with Mike Michalowicz. And I love this episode because we really talk about entrepreneurship from a mission-based standpoint. I know a lot of times we focus on profit first and we focus on, getting things efficient. But the reality is a lot of us started our business because it was a mission, right? It was a mission-based journey for us. And I think that any of us that have done it for any sort of time, we realize that, entrepreneurship really is a journey of refinement, a refinement of character, a refinement of leadership, a refinement of you as a human being, really. And the impact that you have on others, whether they be your clients, whether it be your staff, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't want any staff to leave us that's not leaving in a better place, right? Whether that's more training, whether that's developing their character, they're leaving in a better place. It really truly is a mission, right? And it truly is, for a lot of us, a calling, something that, we've been given as a gift of God to do at this period of time to make this impact on the world. And I love this episode that Ron and I did because we talk about mission-based entrepreneurship and why it's still important, even though we're on a mission, even though we're on a journey, even though we're dedicating our lives to a particular cause, to be profitable. And I hope that you really enjoy this episode. I truly enjoyed making it, and I look forward to hearing it again. Hello, Profit First entrepreneurs and thought leaders. I am so excited. We have a special treat for you today. We are talking about mission-based entrepreneurship, and I can't think of a better guest to talk about this subject. I have the original co-founder of Profit First Professional. I have Ron Saharyan. Yes, Ron Saharyan. The dynamic duo, Mike Michalowicz and Ron Saharyan. I have Ron Saharyan today with us talking about mission-based entrepreneurship. Hey, Ron, and welcome to our platform. How are you?
Very good, Susanne. How are you? And thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, I am excited to have you. We've been wanting to pick your brain for a long time now. So I'm excited to have you. And, Profit First is an amazing organization. It's an amazing organization that changes lives every single day, right? Every single day. And not just lives, legacies. Ron, tell me your story. How did you end up doing this? What drove you to this?
Right. No, I hope we have a bunch of time here for that one. No, Mike Michalowicz and I go way back. We actually grew up in the same town together. We went to the same grade school, same high school, played on the same sports teams, and we remained friends throughout. And Mike is a serial entrepreneur and a serial author. Okay. So each time he was creating companies, he would try recruiting me to work with him to either start it or to be a sales guy or operational guy. And he did that for about 20 years. And every opportunity came, it just wasn't the right opportunity. So long story short, I'm working at a boutique staffing firm, created niche specialization for media and entertainment companies, which is really, really cool. And I was able to get the company to its all-time high in revenue, margins, consultants on street, then was told we are done scaling. I'm like, wait a second. I've been schlepping myself into Manhattan every single day for 4 years. My daughter was just born 4 years earlier. I was working till, 6 in the morning to 6, 7 at night, that traffic, that commute, making a boatload of money. But that was actually clouding my misery. Okay. I was good at the job, but I didn't love the job. I loved the people. I didn't love what I was doing. I love coaching. I love teaching. I love helping. So I've always felt that there was something more for me out there, something more. I feel like something was missing. And I think that sometimes if you're successful in doing a job that you don't mind doing and you're good at it and you get paid well, it really clouds a lot of the issues. But as I took a step back, I was noticing my relationship with my wife wasn't as healthy. My relationship with my daughter wasn't as healthy as it was. And she's only 4, right? And so this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And so when that happened, I sent out, like most people, on LinkedIn, hey guys, I'm thinking about making a move. Anybody have anything cool going on or what's happening out there? Not sure what I'm doing. I get a LinkedIn response from Mike. And if you know Mike, he's never on LinkedIn. It just happened to happen that he was on LinkedIn and he answered it. It's like, hey man, listen, I got this new book coming up and I'd like to read it, you to read it, and want to start a company with you. All right, here we go again, right? And so, but I'm like, yeah, sure. I haven't seen Mike in a couple of months. We get together usually quarterly. So I'm like, yeah, why don't you come on over, bring your wife, we'll have a bottle of wine, we'll talk about it. So he came on over and he gave me his manuscript. I read his manuscript. I'm like, wow, unbelievable. He said, yeah, I want us to team together to build a company to really help entrepreneurs out. And being in corporate, I didn't realize the struggle of entrepreneurs. I mean, in corporate, you have everything given to you. You have a marketing department, you have a sales department, you have this, you have that. And, being an entrepreneur, it wasn't my thing, right? And so I was like, Mike, I do what you're talking about in your book. What do you mean? I said, this is how I was raised. This is how my mother was raised. Basically, this is how I ran a lot of operations by, in staffing, it's sales minus, right? Direct labor times your burden plus your markup. But then I would add my profit on top of that. Okay. So we were always the most profitable firm. And I explained this to him. He's like, oh my God, this is great. We've got to do this. He's like, we got to get this and help entrepreneurs. And I'm like, awesome. And so I decided to quit my job, go all in. I said, you know what? I'm 40 something years old. Something's missing. Got a little money in the bank. Wife is working. Trust Mike. Trust him. A lot of core values are the same. I said, screw it. I'm doing it. And so I did it, not for any type of mission-based reasons, but because I felt something was lacking inside of me and I wasn't sure quite what it was. And so, my goal was to make a lot of money. That's all it was. Okay. And so Mike had to deprogram me for the first 6 months. So I was going down to his basement wearing a suit and a tie. Right. I still don't consider myself an entrepreneur. I consider myself a business owner, and they're very different how you go about it. But it was the first year that we were there, and we went to QuickBooks Connect. Right. And so it was me, Gabrielle Fontaine, and Mike were sitting in the audience, and there was a speaker there. And the speaker was unbelievable. She was speaking, and I was like, wow. And the speaker was talking about not just being more, but not just being more locally, not just being more at a state level or government level, not even being worldly, but talking about being universal. And I was like, wow. And I didn't have good seats. And I thought that she was speaking to me. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, holy cow, this is it. This is why I'm here. And we're talking and I'm sharing. Mike, myself, and Gabrielle, we're here to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. And it was that epiphany that I had in that audience that allowed me to kind of ditch making the money and realize there was a higher purpose that business owners actually can, go on that path and achieve. And you know who that speaker was? Susanne, I think you know who it was.
No, who was it? Tell me.
Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah will have me on a mission base too.
Yeah, I had an Oprah moment, right? And so you hear all about that stuff, but I was like, holy cow. So Oprah, if you're listening, thank you. I appreciate it. Love to send you a copy of the book as well too. But it was there that things kind of started clicking, really clicking. And it was something that Mike and I, we very heartfelt, very serious about. And so when we hired our first employee, our mission is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. Before our morning huddle, when we're all logging on to Zoom or we're in person, whoever is running the huddle says, all right, everybody, why are we here? And everybody says simultaneously, to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. Every single day we say that, and we walk the talk. And so that's kind of my short story of how I found myself, co-founding Profit First Professionals with my buddy, Mike Michalowicz, and how his missions and his pursuit of helping the entrepreneur has really, resonated with me in a way that, man, this was the bigger calling. This was me filling that void that I didn't know how to fill. And so, 7 years later, where we have over 500, maybe close to 550 globally certified firms all over the globe. We're in about 25 to 30 different countries, everything from Canada, Mexico, Cayman Islands, all across the UK, Angola, Africa, South Africa. We have certification centers. We have Profit First Germany, Profit First Australia, Profit First Netherlands, Profit First Canada. And so, the mission that Mike and I are on has translated and transferred down to each one of our member firms. Each one of our member firms takes that serious as well. They want to help their customers in ways that are going to be meaningful and very impactful, because sales minus profit equal expenses, right? That P is just not representative of profit. That P equals owner's pay. That P equals tax, of course, profit, but it also equals security. We've been echoing having 3 to 6 months of core capital available at the house and in the business. That P also represents purpose. What is the purpose? And so if the purpose is charity, we have a charity account. You have a tithing account. You have a family account. You have a free membership account. And so, it's weird saying it's a mission-based business, but it is. And I think you can have two types. As we were talking earlier before the show, you can have a mission-based business like Tom's, the shoe company, right? Buy one, give one. Okay. But how do we have a mission-based business in general business practices? Okay. Well, one, you have to have great paying rack rate clients that will be able to afford the opportunity to be charitable and give a free resource, give a free product, give a free teaching to. But without having good fiscal policies, without having great paying customers, and you know what our mission is. Do you care that I give a free membership to a person in an impoverished neighborhood?
Oh, no. I actually would be proud of you if you did that.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
We just don't say who's doing this stuff.
Yeah, that might make somebody feel embarrassed, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. And so if you do want to be philanthropic and charitable and have a mission, set up a mission account. Set up that one extra account and allocate a percentage of the real revenue or income into that account. That way you can follow your mission with the money that is in there that's specifically used for the mission.
I love that. And I love that. I mean, just too, it's, so many juicy lessons in there. And if we were getting away for a second from the mission-based business, you said something. I mean, I've had the opportunity, Ron, to work with you personally, right? Yeah. Ron is not just my friend, he's my mentor. When I came to Ron, I didn't know how to sell accounting services. And this man, and he gave me like confidence and just, what to say and all kinds of things. Incredible. But you mentioned something too, that, your staffing firm lost a great great employee, right? They lost a superstar employee because they put a cap on how far he could go, right? They said that they didn't want to scale anymore and they lost their superstar. And just, I know that's away from mission-based business, but I think it's something to be pointed out too. As you're growing a business, as you're scaling, you cannot penalize your employees for being successful. And
Right.
granted, Mike McCallis won a great business partner as a result of it, and it got Ron into finding his mission. But as a business owner, you don't want to penalize your top performers.
No, I used to manage a lot of Salesforce, and I see a lot of mistakes where owners or managers are focusing on the lower performing employees. Unfortunately, those lower performing employees are never going to be able to reach the success of a star employee. A star employee is going to outproduce, average or below average employee 2 to 3 times as much. And those are the star employees are the ones you really want to cultivate, the ones you really want to keep learning, the ones you want to keep engaging and providing with, because they are the ones that are truly going to help your company succeed.
Oh yeah, it's going to increase your profits, right? Because you can hire less people.
Yeah, and hiring is tough. It's always challenging, and hiring for core values is first and foremost. And if for one reason or another you make a bad hire, well, sales takes a little bit of time to get up to speed. Next minute, it's 6 months. Next minute, it's a year, and the person hasn't, generated the return that you were looking for. And so looking at every position as a revenue center, okay, is paramount, but really focusing on the key employees. And I'm not saying forget about everybody else. I don't want to swing the pendulum that far. I want to say is that focus on your A and B players, okay? Upgrade your D and C players.
No, that totally makes sense. So going back to mission-based, though, Ron, what struggles, because obviously eradicating entrepreneurial poverty, that's a big thing, right? That's huge because half of small businesses go out of business, right, after like the first few years. And
Yeah,
and
50% don't make it to year 1.
Yeah.
50% of them don't make it to year 5. And hardly any of them make it to year 10, let alone a generational turnover. And that's bullshit. Excuse my French, sorry. But I mean, it's the system, because entrepreneurs are smart. Your listeners are smart. You're building companies. You get people to give you money. You're hiring people. You're marketing. You're creating products, services, everything. If the system you were taught, the system I was taught was correct, those stats would be a lot different, but they're not. And so that's why, we're flipped the switch, and it's not sales minus expenses equal profit. That's the leftover. No, let's put profit and understand what profit is at the forefront.
Exactly. And so, Ron, what challenges do you see that mission-based businesses have? Because they're so focused on their mission. What are the challenges that you see that they have, and how do they overcome those?
Well, one of the major challenges I see is the inability to say no. Okay. That's very difficult because we want to help so much. We want to provide services. And when you say yes too often, you're kind of compromising your business. That is actually the number one way how you're going to help your mission. And so by being strategic in saying yes to very few things and saying no to the majority of things will keep the business owner focused on the mission and focused on growing their business.
I love that. I love that. So really just really knowing what your core is, what your core mission is. And if there's these other things that you want to do, other projects, like you said, setting aside bank accounts, right, to make those happen, right, so that you can still accomplish the mission, but do it responsibly and do it less expensively and efficiently so that you can continue to do what you love, right? Continue to help
Right.
people.
And one of the things is you can also have a no guy, okay, or a no lady, somebody in your organization that understands that the owner can't say no. Okay. They're not allowed to say yes to things. So you have somebody underneath them that is responsible for aiding that business owner, say, hey, you know what? No, that plan, while I love it, I'd love to focus on it, but we're working on these core initiatives right now in terms of philanthropic opportunities. And so you can't say yes to everybody. But if you have somebody that's able to say, no in a nice way, and then get back to them, that makes it easy for the business owner as well.
Right. No, that's really, really great on that side. And I also wanted to ask, because you've given us so many juicy morsels of wisdom. I mean, just like, about in order, because one of the things that mission-based business struggle with, like it says, they do things out of their heart, right? They do things out of their heart, and that's why they end up being the statistic, right? That's why half of them go out of business after the first couple of years because,
Yeah.
they're hiring the person that they have a heart for that may not really be in their zone of genius to do that job, right? And like you said, hiring A players will make it more efficient, allow you to give more, right, and do more of your mission. And so my question to you, Ron, is like, in order to optimize your business, right, and really do the best that you can to really excel to serve more. If you could leave like one piece of advice as to what that would be, what would a mission base be able to do to really optimize their mission with it?
Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, and do it a little bit better. Okay. So if the company initiative is to go on a project and create this project, well, you go on it, complete it, finish the race, if you will. Okay. If you're going to hire somebody, hire somebody. If you say you're going to get back to somebody with an answer, when you say you will, get back to somebody. Right. And so it's doing what you say you're going to do by when you're going to do it. If a business owner is able to do that, the trust in the organization of the staff is going to be, it's going to rise, rise, rise. They're walking the talk, as well as, get in the trenches. Right. We have a pretty flat organization in here. Everybody is accountable to everybody else. And the other thing that we really, I feel that is important is ownership, taking extreme ownership for the success or failure of the company. You're the owner. You're responsible for the success or failure of it. And when you take extreme ownership of all the things that are happening in your business, you're going to have a clear picture. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're doing it. Your staff's going to love you. And it's just going to be it's the beginnings of a well-oiled machine.
I love that. I do. That's really neat. Okay. Since I have you, I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
Profit First has been doing some wonderful things like are amazing. Tell us what's coming up in the Profit First Professionals organization. What's coming up? What's new? What's juicy? What's coming up in the pipeline?
Yeah. Well, we just had ProfitCon, our sixth annual global conference. I mean, it's like a family reunion, right? And so one of the things is that we're looking to do is spread the mission, spread the word all over the globe. It is our goal to have a Profit First location in every country in the world. Okay. Every single one of them, because Profit First is not accounting. It's not an accounting system. It's not a bookkeeping system. It's a cash flow system. So if we can start changing the narrative a little bit about, hey, you need, to do this, do that, to say, you need a system. Business owners understand that they need to have a hiring system, an onboarding system, a marketing system, a sales system. But most businesses don't have a cash flow system. That's what this is. And the faster we can get it into more entrepreneurs' hands, the better they're going to be able to pay themselves, have money for the tax person, have a profit. Even if that profit is 3.5%, they can pay down their debt if they have it. They can celebrate the health of the company, or they can hire. When people can hire, people have jobs. When people have jobs, it relieves a lot of the stress from the home life. But a business owner can't do that if they're not paying themselves.
Yeah, there's not much you can do for anybody if you're not paying yourself.
No. And that's the problem sometimes with mission-based businesses. The main driver of the business is sacrificing so much, actually too much. And they end up hating the business. They hate it. And they end up quitting, and they end up, throwing in the towel. And we don't want that to happen. That's why we're so passionate about, Profit First and the implementation and getting it right by working with a certified Profit First professional firm.
Exactly.
I don't want somebody guessing on that stuff.
And I will say, having worked with Profit First for quite a while, Profit First is efficient. It is efficient. That's all I can. And you really set the example of that efficiency, just like like you said, it's a very flat organization. Everybody is a leader within the Profit First organization, no matter, what level they are. If they just started, they're leaders. And you
So
guys,
I think what really is going to help you guys out on this one is it's very hard to, a lot of people say, hey, Ron, your employees love it. They act like owners. How come your employees act like owners? How do I get my employees to act like an owner? Simple. You got to give them a reason other than a paycheck to get up in the morning, right? As an accountant, you are creating value. You're providing clarity for a business owner to make business decisions. If you're an HVAC technician, you're creating warmth, security by fixing the heaters, the furnaces. Same with an AC tech. You guys aren't just, tin knockers going on out there and doing a job. No, it's more than that, because without various different professions, we can't survive. Right. And so I don't know how to fix a furnace. And when a furnace breaks, I'm calling my guy, and man, it's like Santa Claus coming. So happy to see him. That's valuable. So as a business owner, regardless of what industry you are in, your employees are making a difference in the lives they serve. And even if they're behind the curtain, they're still contributing to helping others.
I love that. So you're really giving them, they're seeing the mission. They're seeing the mission greater than what they're doing. It kind of reminds me of that story, and then they were building, I believe it was the 16 chapel, right? And the guy asked three different people what they were doing. And the first guy said, I'm laying down floors. And then he asked the other guy, what are you doing? He goes, I'm laying down brick. Then he asked the third guy, what are you doing? He goes, I'm painting a chapel to the Lord. And it's just amazing. You're right. When you have a greater vision for yourself, which one do you hire? You want to hire the guy that's painting the chapel to the Lord. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
the one you want to do. And so when you're right, when you're bringing in employees, they have to see the bigger picture, because you're right. You can get a paycheck from anybody right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to have that mission, you're really turning it around and really creating and bringing out the best in the people that serve you.
One of the other things that really helped our organization grow was changing the mindset from task management to initiative-based management. Initiative-based management means whoever is owner of that initiative is responsible for the success or failure of it. And that's a very hard thing to make a move from task management, which is, hey, I need you to go do this, 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 and that. They come back. Is this good? Yep, that's awesome. Need any more guidance? Nope, I got it. Okay, what do I do after this? You do this. And it's kind of going back and forth. But initiative-based management is more like, hey, Susanne, what do you want to do? What do you want to contribute? What do you like? What is your zone of genius? And coming up with an initiative that satisfies the company as well as the employees want to do something, but they're responsible for it. And the owners of the company are responsible providing them with the support what they need. So when we're going to initiative-based management, it's tough. You have to say, you have to tell people no, figure it out, do it on your own, ask three than me. Okay. You can't keep giving them all the answers. You have to be okay with failing, have to be okay with losing a little bit of money, maybe. Okay. But it really is a growth of that individual. And so when we do these initiative based, it's one, how do we know if this is going to be successful? Two, how do we know if it's not successful, and when do we pull the plug? What are the resources, financial and staff, that you need from us? What is the turnaround time? What is the return expected? Right. And so that's owning the initiative. As an owner, you're in a support person. And sometimes, you'll find that, okay, Ron, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? You got to condition yourself to say, what would you do if you knew how to do it? Who could you ask? And so it's kind of softer, and I know it can be a pain in the butt. It's going to be, you'll hear it's so much easier for me to do it. Okay. Oh, it's going to take them so much longer. I just want to get it done. That's old school, right? If you want to create a great team, a great environment, well, then you have to be okay with a little bit of a culture of failure. It's okay to fail. Okay. It's not okay to keep failing on the same thing over and over. Right. So if you give your employees a other reason for getting up in the morning and working with you other than a paycheck, and you move from task management to initiative-based management, you're really going to see a growth of the organization, not only monetary, but also from the people being in there. You'll probably have a longer, retention rate of your employees as well because they're involved, they're a part of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we all know if you can get longevity right, that increases profit because that's less rework, less training, and the longer they do something, the better they get and faster they get.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just keep giving them more. I mean, they want more. They want to do more. And it's a, breath of fresh air coming out of corporate. You have cubicle warriors. You get it. They're miserable. They're just doing the same thing over and over and over. And that's another problem. Don't get me started, but our educational system is really creating cubicle warriors versus independent thinkers.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can definitely see that happening. Yeah, it definitely, I mean, the whole discipline system and what you're rewarded on in school, right, is being quiet and staying in line. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron, so much for spending the afternoon with us. I think that we've got some really juicy morsels about how to run profitable mission-based business. And thank you for being the leader in it and showing us how, being the example for us of how we should be doing things. And I'm excited about, just the what's going on worldwide with Profit First Professionals. It really shocked me when one of the things that you do when you do podcasting is you can see where your viewers and listeners are from. And it's so weird when you see people like tuning in from Australia and London. It's like, okay, all right.
Panama, Israel, Uruguay, Mexico, United Emirates Arab, Egypt. Oh, it doesn't matter. Chile, if you know, right? And so, you can be global. You can be global these days.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, everybody needs profit first, right? Everybody, no matter what country you're in.
It doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter what size of business you have. Mike and I started Profit First with the foundation of the percentages in the book right out of the gate. Okay. So yeah, my profit check, the first quarter, I could buy a cup of coffee. Okay. But we got that rhythm. We built that methodology. And so if you're sitting here saying, man, I don't have any money to give to do profit, I'm going to disagree and say you can implement the framework. You can start very, very, very small. Okay. Opening up one additional account with a specific purpose. If it's paying down debt, if it's paying yourself, if it's whatever it is, you can start. But you also can start by eliminating what is not necessary for the survival of the company, right? And sometimes you got to make those tough choices. And so make the tough choices, but understand that there is a better way to do it. And I was talking to my buddy, Andrew, 2 nights ago, and we're at my daughter's cheerleading game. Well, it's a football game. She's cheerleading. And so he goes, hey, Ron, why wouldn't a business run profit first? Well, they're scared. They're scared of the change, the unknown. Even though their situation may be so bad, they know what they have. And so it's hard for somebody to make that change. I'm saying just take small steps, realize, acknowledge that, you got to stop doing what you're always doing. Do something different. Implement a cash flow strategy, pay yourself, start small, even if it's 0.5%, right? And start building that profit first muscle memory. It's a lifestyle. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Can't fix a business overnight.
No, that's very true. It's very true. I mean, we normally tell our clients it's going to be a year to 18 months because it's a marathon, not a sprint. And
yeah.
We just like you would never go on a no food diet. We have to look at our business finances the same way.
Well, it's funny because people say, oh, Profit First is so simplistic. I'll just read the book and do it. Yeah. All right, great. I know how to get rich in the stock market. All I got to do is buy low and sell high. It's the devils that are really in the details. And so while things are conceptually simple, it's always advisable to be working with somebody that is walking the talk, somebody that is doing it, somebody that is mastering it, somebody that has your best interest in mind. Somebody like you, Susanne.
Thank you, Ron. And so Ron, my last question is, I think every accountant should be a profit first professional personally. I mean,
Mhm.
they really should. I mean, there's too many bean counters that are happy giving a return at the end of the year without saying anything. But in the day, you're not changing lives and you're not helping your clients. And so, how do we find you? How do we connect with you? How do we follow you? How do we get in touch with you, Ron?
Right. So, I'm available on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Our website is profitfirstprofessionals.com. If you're interested in working with a Profit First professional, call Suzanne. If for one reason or another, Suzanne doesn't have the roster space available, you can fill out a form and we'll do our best to introduce you. If you want to be a Profit First professional, you want to go through the training, you want to go through the education, you want to be part of a community on a mission, well, fill out that application. And if it's accepted, you and I will be on a phone call and we'll determine whether or not it's a fit.
Well, thank you, Ron, for being an example of a profitable mission-based company. We all need to do that. We all need to be examples of our own mission. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and team building and profitability and even the life lessons on sales, right? And not capping your employees. So thank you, Ron.
No, thank you. You creating this is exactly what you're on our mission. It's because of the hard work that you and your firm are doing. Right? Mike and I are just giving you the material, giving you the help. You guys are the ones that are really making it happen. So kudos to you and thank you and every other Profit First firm out there.
Well, thank you. And we always get a lot of help from headquarters too and guidance. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, everybody.